Hello there. So this is going to be a review of the exercises that we did in class on Wednesday. This is class day 3.2b. We're not doing any new content today. We're going to review and practice what we have been working with so far. This ties in with our the first standard here, looking at demand and how demand is influenced by price and other factors. These are some of the other factors that do affect price. This is a gotta know. If there's a change in price, it's a change in the quantity demanded. If it's not a change in price, then it's going to be one of these six things, and you need to specify which of these six things is causing demand to shift left or shift right. So a review of the do now. So for our do now, we have the scenario, the price of salad goes up. What happens to the market for salad dressing? So first off, we have two different products. We have salad and we have salad dressing. Okay, so salad and salad dressing. So what's the relationship between these two? And you should be thinking, well, they go together, right? And they're complements. And so we can start off by telling a story here. We always label price and quantity on our axes. We draw our demand curve, and we label it D1. And then if we know that these two things are complements, and the price of our complement is changing, then the demand, in this case, because the price of the complement is going up, the demand is going to go down. And so we're going to have a demand shift to the left, and we're going to simply draw in another curve there. So for our decision, we're going to say this is a demand decrease. And we're also going to specify that that is because of a change in the price of complementary goods. Complementary goods. And there you have it. That's number one. For number two, we see that Apple reduces the price for iPhone 10. Okay, reduces the price for iPhone 10. And what's the change? Is this a change in demand or change in quantity demanded in the market for the iPhone 10? Well, there's only one product here. And what's happening to that product is that there's a change in price. And therefore, it's going to be a change in quantity demanded, not a change in demand. So we're going to be staying on the curve. We're going to show movement on the curve. So quantity, price, we have our demand curve. And then if we start off here with P1, then we're going to have quantity 1 right here. And if the price is reduced, we're going to be down at P2. And we're going to be at Q2. And we're going to see that there is a quantity demand increase from Q1 to Q2. And we show that by having an arrow moving down the curve, show a quantity demand increase. So we would say that this is a quantity demand. I'm going to put Q sub D, quantity demand increase. And the reason is because of the change in price. Prices decreased. Is the reason why. So there you have it for the do now. Moving on, we had to tick it out the previous class period, and this is how that one worked. So take another look at this one. The price of ice cream goes up by $1.50 a pint. Graph and explain what happens to the market for ice cream cones. So first off, we have to ask ourselves how many products do we have, and we can see that we have ice cream and we have ice cream cones. So we have two products. We have to think, well, what's the relationship between these two products? And you should be thinking, well, hey, they go together. If I buy one, I'm going to buy the other one, most likely. And so we can tell a story with a graph. Quantity, price, start off with our demand curve. And then if the price goes up, that's going to reduce demand. And if these things go together, well, if the demand decreases for one, it's also going to decrease for the other one. So we're going to have D2, and we're going to have a demand decrease. That's a shift to the left. And so for our explanation, we would simply say demand decrease. I'm going to show a down arrow for a decrease. Demand goes down. It's a shift to the left. And the reason is because of a change in the price of complementary goods. So this is a lot like the first one that we did on the do now. Complementary goods. And that's it. Okay, so then what we did is we looked at 7 different scenarios. Students worked together and circulated around the room, reading the scenario, graphing the change that occurs, and then explaining what was the factor, what was the non-price factor, or if price changed, show that quantity demand changed. And you're going to use each of the shifters once and only once. And so after you've had a chance to go through those, I will go through the answers right now. So number 1, Henry graduated from college with a degree in econ. He quits his minimum wage job at Target for a salary of $40,000. After that 1 year of hard work, he earns an increase of 70% in his salary. So graph and explain your decision. What is the impact on his ability to buy goods and services? So let's start off by telling a story. We always have our axes. We label them P and Q. We always have our demand curve, and we label that D1. Now it says that Henry graduated. He has a lot more money. That's going to be an increase in income, and we're going to draw D2 over here. And the reason that we say is going to be a change in income. And so it's going to increase the amount of money that he has available. He's going to demand more things. The opposite of this would be if Henry lost his job. Then he's not going to have as much income. It's still a change in income, but instead of a demand increase, it's going to be a demand decrease, which would be a shift to the left. Number 2. Price of tea increases while the price of coffee stays the same. Graph and explain the impact on the market for demand for coffee. And so we've got 2 products here, coffee and tea, and think about what's the relationship between the 2. They're substitutes. You don't use them at the same time. You use one or the other one. So let's tell a story. We have quantity, price, and we have a demand curve. And if the price of tea goes up, we don't want to buy that. Our demand is going to go down. Therefore, the demand of your coffee is going to increase, and we're going to have a shift to the right. And it's going to be a demand increase, shift to the right, because of a change in the price of substitute goods. Tea and coffee are substitutes. They replace each other. And if the price of one goes up, the demand for the other one goes up. And so for the reason, this is what you should have. Demand increases, it's a shift to the right, and the reason is a change in the price of substitutes. And there you have it. Number 3. New study determines blueberries contain a nutrient that could lead to high cholesterol. How many products are we working with? We're only working with one product, blueberries. Was there a change in the price? No. Since there is no change in price, it's a non-price factor that is going to change the demand for blueberries. So let's tell a story. Quantity, price, demand curve 1. Blueberries contain a nutrient that could lead to high cholesterol. Hey, that doesn't sound very good. Boy, I don't think I want to buy blueberries anymore. That sounds like a demand decrease, D2, a shift to the left. So we'll write demand decrease. And the reason is because of tastes and preferences. A lot of demand changes occur because of a change in tastes and preferences. Do we like it? Don't we like it? What do we prefer? What don't we prefer? So that's number 3. Number 4. The U.S. government expands immigration policies, allows more people to enter the U.S. Many settle in the Twin Cities area. Graph and explain the impact on demand for goods and services. Well, let's tell a story. Quantity, price, D1. Now we have more people, and so we're going to have a demand increase to D2. And so our explanation is going to be a change in demand, and it's going to be a demand increase, we said, and the reason is because of a change in the number of consumers. Number of consumers. There's more people to buy stuff. And that's number 4. Number 5. Customers walk into the grocery store and find the price of peanut butter has increased by $1.50. Graph and explain the impact on the market for jelly. So let's tell the story. Quantity, price, D1. So if the price of peanut butter has gone up, jelly, which I don't have here, it was on the handout you had earlier, jelly, the relationship between these two, they are going to be complements. They go together, peanut butter and jelly. And so you buy one, you buy the other one, but if the price of one goes up, the demand for the other one is going to go down. So we draw D2, and this is a demand decrease. And the reason is a change in the price of complements. And that's number 5. Number 6. This is the most difficult one. Customers know the televisions and other home electronics go on sale for Black Friday, which is after Thanksgiving in November, but right now it's the middle of September. So we have to graph and explain the change in the market demand for televisions right now. So we tell a story. Price, quantity, there's our demand curve. Well, if it's, we know that we want to buy a television, and if it's middle of September and the prices are going to be lower in November, we're going to wait until November to buy those televisions. And so therefore, my demand right now is going to decrease. And the reason, so demand decrease, the reason is because of a change in consumer expectations. We expect the price to go down in the future, therefore we're going to wait and buy it then, so right now our demand goes down. Another example would be airline tickets. If we hear that airline tickets are going to suddenly go up next week, then our demand right now is going to increase. So yes, there are changing prices, but the changing prices are ones in the future, not right now. So that's number 6. And the last one, number 7. Gatorade raises its price on a 16-ounce beverage from $1.29 to $2.99. What's the impact on Gatorade? Well, we're working with one item here, which is just Gatorade, and the only thing that changes is the price. Therefore, this is a change in quantity demanded. So we tell a story, price and quantity, our demand curve, and if we have a price from $1.29 up to $2.99, let's start here with P1, and we have quantity 1, and then if the price goes up, we'll have P2 and Q2. And so our quantity demanded decreases, which is movement up the curve. This is a quantity demand decrease because of a change in price. And that's number 7. Your homework is quiz 3.1 on Schoology. You're going to practice more with the change in demand and change in quantity demanded, and continue studying your key terms and evaluating what you have learned so far. There's one more problem practice that students did for a ticket out. Let me know how I can support you, and we'll pick up on Monday next week.